children and create a thriving society. And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God.
The recent disclosure by Donald Trump has left the Christian community in shock. Amid the escalating Israel-Hamas conflict, some perceive these events as a sign of the approaching Antichrist, and Trump's statement only intensifies these concerns. His assertion that all immigrants pose a threat to the USA and that those opposing Christianity should be vehemently barred from entering has sparked alarm among Christians globally. Does this revelation significantly impact Christians worldwide? Is it accurate to suggest that Trump's remarks ominously align with biblical prophecies about the end of the world? Stay with us till the very end of this video to witness the biggest revelation by Trump about the Antichrist that will blow your mind. We can all agree that Donald Trump has been one of the most controversial American presidents in history and has said and done some really questionable things. In a survey conducted a few years ago, 42% of voters expressed the opinion that President Donald Trump would be remembered as one of the worst presidents in history. But did you know that throughout his political career and presidency, he openly declared himself a Christian, aligning specifically with the Presbyterian denomination? You heard that right. However, the nature of Trump's religious identification raises questions. While his family background, being born and raised in a Presbyterian family in Queens, New York, suggests a connection to the faith. However, public figures often align themselves with religious identities that resonate with their political base. In Trump's case, his identification as a Christian may have been influenced by political considerations, given the significant role conservative Christian voters play in American politics. Now, Donald Trump isn't exactly known for being a church regular. When he jumped into the 2016 Republican nomination race, he'd insist the Bible was his top read, beating out The Art of the Deal. Yet he couldn't really pinpoint a favorite part or show much familiarity with it. As president, church wasn't exactly on his regular agenda, except for that one big moment outside St. John's Episcopal Church holding a Bible. This is basically how Trump's life intersects with religion. He gets that it matters to a lot of Americans, especially those leaning his way politically. He pledged to be the religious rights champ in office, and for the most part, he delivered. But there's more to the story. It wasn't just about protecting Christians, it was also about painting people of other faiths as inherently dangerous. Did you know that he used the existence of ISIS and attacks abroad to paint Muslim immigrants as threats and even proposed a ban on Muslim migrants? Trump and others in the 2024 Republican race painting non-Christians with a broad negative brush isn't exactly a surprise. For example, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis argued that all refugees from the Gaza Strip are anti-Semitic, which isn't true. Trump, speaking in New Hampshire, went further, as he often does. He vowed to restore and expand the Trump travel ban and halt refugee settlements to the U.S., claiming that those wanting to come in are the same people shooting rockets at Israel. He went on to say he'd implement strong screening for immigrants, making it clear that those not aligned with our religion or sympathizing with jihadists aren't welcome. The crowd loved it. Essentially, Trump is saying he'll defend American Christians against perceived threats that might be framed in vague religious terms but aren't fundamentally religious. He's telling a specific subset of Americans, white Christian conservatives, that he's got their backs, and the crowd is eating it up. But that's not all. Trump openly acknowledged the need for a savior, a touching admission that transcended political boundaries. In a rare moment of humility, he said, "I'm not that savior." This declaration left people wondering what it meant and how it fit into his broader message. In his Christmas speech, President Trump shifted the focus to the nation-state, departing from the usual holiday cheer. One key issue he highlighted was election integrity, expressing doubts about the fairness of the 2020 presidential election and suggesting the need to address irregularities. Trump also stressed religious freedom, striking a chord with Christians who see their faith as fundamental. Addressing the economic challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, he called for unity in a divided nation. Beyond the surface, Trump's Christmas message offered a rare peek into his personal beliefs, diverging from his usual boldness. It reflected a moment of introspection, acknowledging the profound themes of the Christmas season for millions of Christians. The speech emphasized the central role of faith in Americans' lives, recognizing the enduring power of religious beliefs, amid political and social upheaval. Trump's unique perspective on Jesus Christ, prevalent throughout his political career, goes beyond a figure of religious significance. But would you believe it if I told you that he sees Jesus as a symbol of unwavering resilience, an unshakable source of strength in adversity? According to Trump, faith in Jesus provides individuals and the nation with inner strength to confront challenges. He believes the United States was founded on Christian principles, and Jesus' message of hope resonates throughout its journey. During Trump's presidency, evangelical Christian leaders held significant sway, prompting questions about the extent of their impact on the highest office. Faith played a prominent role, with prayer events and evangelical leaders shaping policies. This partnership sparked curiosity and left observers pondering the intersection of faith and politics. In a shift from the evangelical community, Trump also made headlines by criticizing another religious group in a speech. He asserted that Jewish Americans supporting Democrats were, in his view, disloyal, suggesting a lack of knowledge or great disloyalty. To many observers, these statements were seen as a direct challenge to the political loyalty of Jewish Americans, particularly those traditionally aligned with the Democratic Party. Following his remarks, a curious phenomenon emerged, as some Israelis expressed strong support for the American president, referring to him as the King of Israel and the Chosen One. Despite being titles usually reserved for figures of profound spiritual and historical significance, they added an intriguing element to an already puzzling sequence of events. To grasp the significance of these titles, we need to delve into the context in which they emerged. When it comes to geopolitics, few issues carry the weight and significance that the Israel-Palestine conflict does. This centuries-old dispute, deeply rooted in history, religion, and territory, remains complex and subject to debates on its resolution. During his 4-year tenure, Trump positioned himself as a transformative force in American-Israeli relations, drawing attention for his unwavering support of Israel. Did you know that it was during the Trump administration that Jerusalem was recognized as Israel's capital by the U.S.? It was a decision that reverberated globally. Jerusalem's status holds profound religious significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, making it a contentious issue in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Trump's decision to acknowledge Jerusalem as Israel's capital departed from decades of U.S. foreign policy, contributing to the already complex and volatile situation. Following this recognition, the Trump administration further escalated tensions by relocating the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, symbolizing strong affirmation of Israel's claim to the city. This decision, while celebrated by Israel, intensified conflicts with Palestinians, who also lay claim to East Jerusalem as the future capital of a Palestinian state. Trump's support for Israel extended beyond symbolic gestures, as his administration played a pivotal role in brokering the Abraham Accords, historic agreements between Israel and several Arab nations. These accords marked breakthroughs in Middle East diplomacy, normalizing relations with the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. Trump's commitment to Israel also manifested in bolstering military aid, signing a $38 billion aid package to ensure Israel's qualitative military edge in the region. This aid included funding for missile defense systems like the Iron Dome, crucial for protecting Israeli citizens from rocket attacks. These actions earned Trump labels like the King of Israel and the Chosen One from certain groups, reflecting his strong support for the nation and prioritization of its interests on the global stage. Trump's deepening ties with Israel, intertwined with his evangelical support base, are rooted in Christian Zionism. This doctrine interprets specific biblical passages as prophesying the return of Jews to the Holy Land, the establishment of Israel, and its role in end-times events. Evangelicals who embrace this doctrine see it as aligning their religious beliefs with U.S. foreign policy and Israel's place in God's divine plan. Trump's decisions related to Israel, such as recognizing Jerusalem as the capital, relocating the U.S. Embassy, and involvement in the Abraham Accords, are seen by evangelicals as affirmations of Israel's role and potential steps toward stability in the Middle East. Many believe the Antichrist will be a powerful, famous figure who deceives with false miracles and claims divine authority, leading people astray. Some link this idea to the former U.S. president due to Trump's charismatic and controversial leadership, resembling the Antichrist's misleading abilities. The concept of the Rapture, where believers are taken to heaven before troubles, influenced how some saw Trump's leadership, especially during events like the Abraham Accords. Now that Trump has been disqualified from the 2024 presidential elections, linked to his role in the 2021 Capitol attack, as ruled by the Colorado Supreme Court, it potentially signifies his exclusion from the political sphere, possibly altering perceptions of him as an anti-Christ figure.